In the heart of the English countryside, where cobblestone paths wind between ivy-covered cottages and the church bell tolls each morning with a solemn echo, there lived a young man named William. He was 24 years old, the son of a craftsman who made wooden furniture for the villagers. From the outside, William's life seemed peaceful. He lived among green meadows, sheep grazing in the fields, and oak trees that had stood for centuries. But inside his mind, there was no peace at all. William's thoughts were like restless waves crashing against the cliffs. Memories of mistakes he had made haunted him. Worries about what tomorrow might bring pulled him into a constant state of unease. At night, while the village lay silent beneath the pale moonlight, he tossed and turned, unable to sleep. In the daylight, even when surrounded by laughter in the marketplace or the smell of fresh bread from the baker's oven, he could not smile. His mind was a storm he could not control. One afternoon, while sitting by the old stone bridge watching the river flow, William overheard two travelers passing by. They spoke of a wise old man who lived in a quiet village across the hills. This man, they said, had once been a famous scholar in the city of Oxford. He had spent his life studying the human mind and helping countless people. Now, in his old age, he had chosen solitude, living close to nature, sharing his wisdom only with those who truly sought it. William's heart stirred with a fragile hope. Perhaps this old man could give him the peace he longed for. That very week, he packed a small satchel, bid farewell to his family, and began the long walk across the hills. The journey was not easy. The roads were muddy from rain, the nights were cold, and the silence of the woods sometimes made his heart uneasy. Yet he pressed on, driven by an inner cry, "I cannot live like this anymore. I must find peace." And, after several days, William finally reached the hidden village. It was smaller than his own, with cottages wrapped in ivy and smoke curling gently from chimneys. At the far edge of the village, he found a small house half covered in greenery. On the porch, under the shade of a climbing rose bush, an old man sat quietly, his eyes closed, as if the world itself had paused around him. His face bore deep lines of age, but also a serenity that William had never seen before. William approached carefully and whispered, "Sir, my mind is restless. It never stops thinking. I am weary of the past and fearful of the future. I long for peace. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled a smile so calm it seemed to quiet the air itself. He nodded and said gently, "So, you seek peace? Come with me. I shall give you a small task." He led William into his garden, where roses bloomed beside worn stone walls. From a clay jug, he poured water into a glass until it brimmed to the very edge. Then he handed it to William and said, "Take this glass. Walk from here to the village gate and return. But remember, do not spill even a single drop." William stared at the glass in disbelief. "That's all?" he asked. "That is all," replied the old man, his voice steady as the wind. With great care, William took the glass. The road was narrow, with children chasing hoops, shopkeepers calling out, and dogs barking near the tavern. But William dared not look at any of them. His eyes were fixed on the trembling line of water at the rim of the glass. Step by step, he moved slowly, his whole being focused only on balance. The laughter, the noise, even the curious stares of villagers all faded into silence. At last, after what felt like an eternity, William returned to the old man's porch. Holding up the glass with pride, he said, "I did it. Not a single drop spilled." The old man smiled and asked softly, "That is good. But tell me, on your walk, did you see the children playing by the lane? Did you hear the songs from the blacksmith's hammer? Did you notice the evening sun upon the rooftops?" William frowned, surprised. "No, I noticed nothing. I thought only of the water." The old man's smile deepened, and his voice dropped into a calm whisper. "That, my son, is the secret. In those moments, your mind was not racing through the past nor fearing the future. It was still. It was here. You were not haunted by what you had lost, nor frightened of what you might face tomorrow. You were alive only in this very moment. And in that moment, there was peace." William felt as if something had broken inside him, not painfully, but like chains falling away. He understood now what he had been searching for all his life. Peace was never hiding in the distant hills, nor waiting in the future, nor buried in the forgotten past. Peace had always been inside him, hidden beneath the noise of his restless thoughts. It was uncovered only when he learned to quiet his mind and live in the present. He
Do not
bowed deeply
spill
and
even a
said,
single drop.
"Thank you, grandfather. Now I see. If
Hold
I
it
wish to
steady.
calm my mind, I must not wander into yesterday or tomorrow. I must remain here, in this moment. That is where peace lives." And the old man simply closed his eyes again, as if the conversation was finished. The sun was setting, spreading gold across the sky. Birds were flying back to their nests. William turned and began his walk home. Yet he was not the same man who had arrived. His step was lighter, his heart calmer. For the first time in years, he smiled not because life had changed, but because he had changed. He had discovered how to empty his mind. The story of William, from that ancient English village, is not just a tale of one young man's search for peace. It is a mirror for us all. In our own way, each of us carries a storm within: regrets from the past, fears of the future, endless comparisons, and ceaseless noise. We wait for peace to arrive when our circumstances improve, when success comes, when tomorrow finally favors us. But the truth is simpler, though harder to accept. Peace is already here, hidden beneath the clutter of our thoughts. The old man's lesson is timeless. When we anchor ourselves in the present moment, when we focus wholly on what is before us, the storm quiets. Fear has no ground to stand on, regret has no voice to whisper, and anxiety has no room to grow. Think about the glass of water.
Is the true
For
essence of
William,
living.
it was not truly about balance. It was a symbol of the mind. By giving all his attention to the fragile glass, he unknowingly practiced mindfulness. His thoughts could not drift elsewhere. And in that silence, he discovered what so many spend lifetimes searching for: inner peace. And so the story asks us, where is your glass of water? What task, what breath, what moment can you choose right now to give your full attention to? Because in that choice lies the secret of calm. Do not wait for life to be perfect to feel at peace. Do not wait for tomorrow to arrive. Empty your mind. Breathe into the present moment. Right here, right now, is where peace has always been waiting. Stay still, stay present, and you will discover that peace was never lost. It was always within you.